Hello, I just thought I'd do a brief video on working patterns based on my experience within the UK, what I've witnessed and what I've come across, um, um, and the way our society seems to be structured. Um, I just I've been through the process of applying for a few jobs within the care sector, support working, and um, what I found was with both jobs, predominantly female, the people showing you around are female, all the admin's female, everything predominantly female. I think I saw maybe one male in the entire, and he was probably one who took the service users out to do activities day to day. But he was sat to one side while the females did all the interviewing and showing round and talking about how the centres ran and things like that. Interviewing. Um, but I've spoke with people who are managers of these sort of places who I've got personal connections with, and sort of a thing that keeps popping up is that maybe introducing somebody who's male into a predominantly female environment may produce tension, sexual tension, that goes against for the people running those centres or that centre, that goes against their predictable way of running things. It might be something that they might not want to have to deal with, whatever could arise. And they see masculinity as a threat to social order within the workplace. I, I've seen this spoken about, I've seen this witnessed by management and with those managers speaking to me, and I've got an inkling that the places that I went, because they were predominantly female, maybe saw the introduction of a male as possibly a threat to the way things would be running. So I feel it's important to say what I'm witnessing, to say how I feel about things as I see them. When I went for both interviews, I was told no detriment to you in one of them, and the other job was pretty much the only reason that we couldn't take you on was because of not having a driving license. So it was no detriment to my ability within the interview or on my CV or whatever. Just the driving license, and the second person said something about not knowing how you interact with service users. Well, how would they know? Because I've never met the service users, so to suggest there wouldn't be I wouldn't get on with them would be a bit naive, really. I I can mix with most types of people quite easily from many different backgrounds because I have done all my life. So I think basically what she was saying is, we don't know, which, maybe would have been a more honest thing for them to say. But like I say, getting back to it, I do think the introduction of somebody, a man, a masculine person would maybe upset the workplace as they see it anyway. And I see that as I think the word shame comes to mind, because it's like, it's almost like they have a controlling influence over the way things are run within certain sectors, and it's almost like saying, well, only women are capable of doing this sort of work. My argument to that is, I know men with much more ability, much more in different ways, but they are. It's like a man can do certain things that a woman might not find as easy. I know I've helped people walking out to town, shopping, and things that I've been able to do with that person, a lady would find maybe difficult, sort of mixing with different types of people, picking up certain types of magazines, and try to encourage the service user to eat certain foods, and many other things. Yeah, it's something that I'm competing against at the moment. I applied for another job 2 days ago, and they asked what sort of counselling qualifications, because I said I was interested in counselling. What sort of counselling qualifications have you got? Have you got any counselling qualifications? My first reply to that could have been, well, Jesus had none, Muhammad had none, etc., etc., etc. There's many charismatic geniuses from the past who've had the ability to counsel and offer guidance within people's lives. I know that I have that ability to help people to a far greater level than many people. Simply because of my experience, which is vast. The different situations, and the more people I've talked to within, say, the doctors, midwives, people who've come out of the profession but have worked in the profession for, say, 30 years, they do say the same thing, that qualification is just a piece of paper. Anybody can get a qualification, but the experience, that's what counts, and it's more important to spend that time. And if you read moral guidelines, I suppose that those books in themselves tell you about what the most important things are to do, most important virtues to have, such as listening, and kindness, and being patient. Is just, that these core values is where we should be starting. Years ago, nursing was based on ladies wanting to care for people. You know, they never had any qualification. It was just ladies, girls who wanted to care and had that virtuous way of being. That was the most important qualification. And but now it's like, well, no, it has to be a degree, like qualification, and there's so many questionable people class themselves as nurses I've seen. And shut curtains and scowl at you and try to force their opinion, and I've seen these things. So and these people, the most important thing they'll tell you is, I've got a degree in nursing. And that's sort of the way our society is structured, is to value something that massages your ego, or something that you lift up above all your virtues and things that people should really be aspiring to. If I see somebody and recognise somebody as being virtuous, I hope to God that I will acknowledge those virtues way up above and beyond any qualification that they may have, because that is the way that we should be looking at each other, I believe, 100%. Know the truth and the truth will set you free. The truth is, you have to try and live the best possible life you can, and within the moral guidelines, it's to have these virtuous aspects to your life, and try and aspire to be like that. We all fall short, but they say God loves a trier. So yeah, just got to try our best. Yeah, but just with regards to the social order of things, it seems controlled and so it can be manipulated in a certain way, where you tend to have certain people going down a certain work in a certain work pattern, and I don't know, maybe my thinking on this will be challenged, but it seems to be like the same old sort of story, the same old, from learning from people in the past, and coming across the same answers from employers, and it's like they have ideas on your life, they have ideas of where you should be working and what you should be doing, but if you sort of say to them, oh well, this is where I aspire to be, it's like, oh well, are you sure? But you can't have anybody who has a mind of their own is a free-spirited individual, and that goes against social order. But I do feel like just putting it out there and and asking the questions.